This is the inside of the Bailey Pegasus GT70 Ancona. If we firstly come to the control panel just over here, we can turn the 12 volt on by flicking this switch. It will then give us a voltage reading of the leisure battery just up here. Beside it, we then have the switch for the water pump. The water pump needs to be on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. Beneath that we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can all then be individually turned on and off on their own switches. And then lastly, we have awning light on and awning light off. If I now come to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, and I now lift up, we can see that we have storage just here, and then we have the Truma combi boiler just here. To drain the boiler down for travel and winterization, it is just done on the yellow lever just there. Before draining, do make sure that the water pump is switched off, and then once you've done this, flip the yellow lever up and it will begin to drop all the water out of the boiler. If you are fully winterizing the caravan, I always suggest that you also go around and open up all the taps as well, because this will release any airlocks in the system and help it drain off much more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler, close all of the taps, flick the drain valve back across, fill up the aqua roll, drop the submersible in, and then turn the water pump back on again. This will then begin to fill the boiler back up. Wait until it's been running for a few minutes and then begin opening up all of the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely, close, and then the system will then fully reprime itself. If I now move across to the other bench seat, we literally have just underneath here storage. You can also see the corner steady winding handle just there, which also acts as the wheel brace as well. Radio just here, so we have CD in here. Eject just here. To turn the unit on, just press the button that says SRC. Volume control just here. Easy graphic equalizer just here. To get into the unit's settings, just press the volume button in and then just navigate by rotating. To get back out again, just press the back button just here. And then we have change tracks or search for radio stations just here.
Saying yesterday in the car up, actually we've heard it quite a lot, but
in the overhead locker beside it we have the television aerial. This is also the aerial for the radio as well. On and off just here. Control the boost just here. And then to raise the aerial, just undo the collar just here and then just push up. This green window here just represents the back of the aerial, so you know which way it's pointing. The H stands for horizontal, so at the moment it's sitting like so. We can flip it to vertical for additional tuning just by turning the tail just here. Do make sure that the aerial is down for travel and that the red dot is facing you. Never over tighten these collars because you can split them. we have the controls for the Truma combi boiler just here. So at the moment it's just displaying the time, and it's also letting us know that we're connected to mains electricity. If I now press the button, you'll see we have a series of icons, and as I begin to rotate this button, they will begin to flash. So if we start with the first icon just here, this one is for your heating, and if I now click on it, heating is off. All I now do is just rotate and pick whatever temperature I would like it inside the caravan, and it will go right the way up to 30 degrees. So once decided, just click to store it in, and you'll now see a little flames appeared above. That little flame there just represents the heating system, and it's just letting you know that you've set a parameter. Whenever the heating is in operation, this flame will begin to flash, and it will continue to flash until the temperature has been achieved. If I now click again and we move to the next icon, this one here is for your hot water. So if I now click, hot water is off. If I rotate, I can heat hot water in eco mode, which will give us a temperature of about 40 degrees. And if I rotate again, I can heat in hot, which will give us a temperature of about 60 degrees. And if I rotate again, we can also perform a boost on the boiler. The boost was mainly designed for if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other, or if you just want hot water extremely quickly. If you do perform the boost and the heating's running, the heating will turn off because it needs to use the extra power. And again, the icon will continue to flash until it's achieved the temperature you have asked. If I now move across to the third icon, this one here is power source. So we're currently using mains electricity using 2 kilowatts to run both heating and hot water, and it's indicated by the 2 lightning strikes up there. And if I click on it, as you can see, mains electricity using 2 kilowatts. If I rotate the button, I can lower the power consumption to 1 kilowatt. Very handy if we are on a low amp site. This way we can avoid tripping. We then have dual fuel, so we have a mixture of gas and mains at 2 kilowatts and a mixture of gas and mains at 1 kilowatt. Very handy if you have both power sources available, especially in the winter months, because this way you can then get up to temperature really quickly. It will only consume the gas as it is required. And then lastly, we have gas on its own if we have no mains available. After this, we then have a little picture of a fan, and this is the circulation fan for the heating system. So if I now click on it, we can either run the fan in eco or high. If I now go back and I turn off both hot water and the heating, and now return back to it, we can also use it to vent the caravan as well on a warm day. It has a fan speed of 1 to 10. If I now drop to the lower icons, this first one in the bottom left hand corner is for a basic timer. And if I now click on it, you'll see we can set when we would like the timer to begin. And then finish. And then we can basically select what we would like on within that time period. So let's say we want the heating to come on at 18 degrees. We want the water at 40. We want to be using dual fuel. And we'll leave the fan in eco. Lastly, timer on or off. If I now select the timer and turn it on, the timer icon will come up in that corner there. And now within that time period, those settings would apply. If I now return into it, I can now turn the timer back off. And when we go back in, we can then alter it again. Next, we just have clock set. And then lastly, we have the settings menu. So within this, we have offset, which is just for the onboard thermostat. So if you don't think it's quite correct, you can just slightly adjust it. Temperature, just if you prefer it displayed in Celsius or Fahrenheit. brightness of this screen, 12 or 24 hour clock, language, index, more for the technicians in the workshop, it just lets them know what software it's running, and then lastly full factory reset. So from time to time these units may throw up error codes. They will usually be relatively something easy, like it's going to let you know if it hasn't got main supply connected if you're trying to run it on mains, or it will let you know it has no gas, etc. It will also throw up an error code if it's turned on and you turn the 12 volt off up here. As you can see, we now have a warning triangle just there, and if I now click on that warning triangle, it will display the error code. Now within the manual, if you Google it, you can then find out what the problem is, but W255H is the error code for I have lost 12 volt. Reason being is because I've turned the 12 volt off. So if I now return to the control panel and restore the 12 volt, when we go back you will see that the error code has disappeared. If the error code comes back like it has just there, because sometimes they can get confused, if you still have stuff running, just literally turn everything off, because it can reassess a lot faster when it's not trying to do lots of things at once. But now you can see everything is back to normal again. If you've tried every avenue and you still can't get rid of the error code, I then always suggest that doing the factory reset, because sometimes that's all it requires. We have the microwave just here. It is just plugged in the overhead locker beside it. This will work when you are hooked up to mains electricity. It's always advisable, as shown on the sticker, to make sure that there is no contents left in it whilst the caravan is travelling. This is an eco microwave, so you do need to press the eco button to turn the unit on. We then have quick start, stop at the bottom, auto cook, defrost, etc. All the usual stuff that you would find on most modern microwaves just there. We then have the hob just here. So we have the electric hot plate just here. This again will work on main supply, and the red light will come on to let you know it's in operation. The gas rings operate just by pushing in, twisting and pressing the igniter. Beneath that we then have the grill, and again it's just push in, twist and push the igniter. And then the oven at the bottom. Storage beneath. And then beside it we have some of the gas isolation taps. So we have cooker, heating and hot water, and the fridge all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you smell gas, just go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. Fridge freezer just here. So controls just here at the moment in the off position. If we're connected to mains electricity, just flick it to the little picture of the 2-pin plug to run the fridge off the mains. Next we have a little picture of a battery, and this is 12 volt maintain, and this is what we have the fridge on when we are towing it to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. And then lastly we have gas. If we are going to use the unit on gas, we need to come across to the temperature control, and then we're holding it in and pushing the igniter, and then what we want is this line here to drift out of the white into the green to indicate that the unit is lit. If when you let go the line drops back off into the white, just repeat the process. This can sometimes take a few goes, especially when a new gas bottle has been fitted, because there may be some air in the system. As soon as you turn to something else, it will then automatically put itself back out again. Above the fridge we have the solar panel regulator. We do not need to do anything with this, it will just charge the leisure battery as it is required. Consumer unit just here. So we have the main strip switches just here. So we have the individual MCBs and then the main RCD and test button just there. So if something's not working on main supply, just check to see whether or not you've tripped. And then beneath that we then have the 12 volt fuses just here. So again, if something's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. TV point just there. And then we have the two bunks. Storage beneath the bed just here. And then under my feet just here is the location of the leisure battery. Dinette just here, and underneath this cushion is the control board for the PowerTouch motor mover. You'll see it has an alpha reset just there, so if the unit is not connecting up to the handset, you can reset it just here. We also have the wind point just here for the spare wheel and the winder itself. More storage underneath this dinette seat here as well. And then if we move into the washroom, we have the shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is fully secured for travel. We then have the basin just here, and then the Thetford toilet. To open the cassette, just slide the lever across just here, push the flush on the top, and then close again just here. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody has left this open. Level indicator on the top, so this will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. Wardrobe just here, and we also have the freestanding table just here, and more storage beneath as well. The dinette bed is extremely easy to make. It's just a matter of unclipping the table off and then resting it onto here. So if I now just take out the table leg, and as you can now see, it makes into a nice easy single bed. With the front beds you can either have 2 singles or a double. To make the double we just need to pull the slats across and then just drop in the infills, and as you can now see you have a good size double bed. So each one of these just sits underneath each main cushion,